Hello, my name is Brian Nguyen, and this is my senior Culminating Project. So, the career that I've chosen for myself is a computer and information system manager. And the reasons I've chosen that is I have a personal fascination with technology. Of course, being born as a millennial and watching everyone staring into their phones, it's kind of hard not to resist the curiosity of technology. Also, money, basically not income based off for money, but more, my previous career was a software engineer, and it had a lesser income, but I decided to take it a step further and go for something that gave me more financial stability, and it's along the lines of what I enjoy. And then a humongous part of my influence has my father, Ben Nguyen, who is a software engineer, and he has, by living with him, he has shown me all the benefits of engineering, and one of the major benefits is fighting planned obsolescence. As you know, manufacturers, they build things that are meant to be broken, and my dad is like, no, he fixes things, and that's what I want to do. Every time something breaks, he always fixes it before going into like another business or paying another person to fix it for him, and that is why I would love to go into engineering. During high school, to prepare for this, I've taken classes. 3 major classes that have helped prepare for this is Careers in ICT, which gives you a primitive, basic introduction to programs and software such as Excel, and another one is AP Spanish. And you might think, why is that correlated? But where my dad works, there's a lot of people who speak Spanish, and if you want to be a systems manager, who is basically heading a team of engineers, if you're bilingual, is more beneficial to you. And then AP Statistics, which I'm taking this year, and it's been eye-opening. In AP Statistics, you don't want to find the answer. You want to find out how to express how you got the answer and why it's the answer. And if I'm going to be spearheading a team of engineers, to get anything done, I'd have to explain how to get it done, why it needs to get done, and communication skills. And that's why those classes have been beneficial. Engineering club, because I realized that CTE classes are offered, and it was offered as my sophomore year when my sophomore year began, so it's unfortunate. And to compensate that, I joined engineering club and to get more exposure to software and hardware. Leadership, I'm in Link Crew and I'm on board for Interact Club and NHS. And leadership basically shows me how to interact with other members of a board, how to interact with my peers, and how to make sure we get things done. Shadowing, my dad is a software engineer, as I stated. He works for aviation services, and so I shadowed him in his company and how it's like to work there. And for volunteering, I volunteer at my sophomore year. I volunteered at French Valley Elementary School for the library, and there I worked with filing databases for the books, and there I got more exposure to different softwares. And so that is my career in high school. Short-term goals for this year specifically is to keep my grades up, because obviously that GPA matters. And then for SAT-wise, find an SAT score that I'm satisfied with, but more importantly, the colleges are satisfied with. And to fill out my FAFSA as soon as possible, because if I want to get into college, I'd rather stay in college as well and be able to afford it. And also start applications as soon as possible, because the more time I have to review it, the better chance I can show an accurate representation of who I am. And personally, I would like to excel in AP Spanish, because I do not want to waste 4 years of my life in a language class if I can't hold a decent conversation, so that is why. Those are some short-term goals. Post-high school, becoming a computer information system manager. I plan on applying to UCSD, and as my major choice, primary choice, I would love to go to UCSD, and I would major in computer engineering and minor in business. I choose computer engineering over computer science because computer engineering has a small scope of it, is included with computer science, so you have more exposure to both, and it would be better if I applied as a computer information system manager. And then possible opportunity path when I'm at UCSD is to get a master's and apply to the MBA program, the Masters of Business Administration, and that's if I really enjoy what I'm doing there and I want to take it to the next level, and it'll be safer to get a master's in MBA. And then, as I said before, to compensate for the lack of CTE classes, I can take summer classes beforehand to introduce myself to coding and hardware like Java and SQL. And then also internships would be very important to take and look forward to, because you gotta start somewhere in order to go. Forecast for my career, overall there's a 14% or higher increase in job opportunities, and I see there's a 30% increase as well. And then projected annual job openings is around 2,000, and it might look minuscule, but keep in mind that this job or career I've chosen is at the top level. You are spearheading an engineer team rather than being a part of the team. Therefore, the opportunities are less. But so in case I want to take a step back, if I take a little step back, there'll be a lot more job opportunities. And then the annual salary for a median would be around 160,000 a year, and that is perfectly okay with me. Some values and personalities for my career. I want financial stability in my life, and then I want to work in a safe environment, and I want to have control of how I work and get things done. Therefore, if I'm in charge of the team by being a computer and information systems manager, I can ensure that these are all things that would be fulfilled as I live my life. And also, I took an interest profiler, and I scored highest in investigation and enterprising. And enterprising basically means management, and investigative means analysis, so they correlate with each other and in my career. Some obstacles I would face is money, obviously an issue, which I apply to financial aid. Time management and competition is also a very huge issue. There are a lot of people who are going into engineering as technology is more important and relevant these days. And also, if I even get into college. And then also, college is not for everyone. And even for the brightest students, it could be a tough time. And then stress, also dealing with stress. Senior year has been stressful, and I'm just seeing college might be a lot more stressful. Possible life challenges, I personally haven't been dealt with like a major life crisis, like someone's death of a loved one. So I don't know how I'd react if that had ever happened with me in college. So that's also a possible issue. And it's time for my demonstration. A lot of people have misconceptions that a software engineer and computer and information services or systems manager, they don't go hands-on, and I don't want to demonstrate how you stare at a screen of me staring at a screen. So I'm going to demonstrate a very crucial part of my career, and it's dealing with hardware. So I'm going to look up over here. I brought with me a motherboard and pieces of the motherboard, and I'll explain to you how they fit. So this is my motherboard, and it basically connects everything and all the parts together of a computer. This is very essential, and it has all the inputs and output connectors in order to have the computer work. Right here is where you put the CPU, the central processing unit. The central processing unit is just a clump of electronic circuitry that is responsible for basic arithmetic operations that the computer handles. And so what you do is you would unlock the safety pin here, and then remove it, and place the CPU in there. And to save time, I will not do that, but if you do that, this part will be facing out, and then you would put thermal paste there to keep the CPU from overheating, because if it overheats, that's very bad for your computer. There's that. Here is a stick of memory RAM. RAM stands for random access memory, and you would place that right here and you would click it in. RAM is responsible for the speed of your computer. It is a volatile, fast access storage device, and people allocate more RAM to boost up the speed of the computer. Finally, we have one that a lot of people are aware of and use frequently. Is a hard drive. It is the largest device for memory storage, and it holds your operating system and softwares and files that you all use when you turn on the computer. To connect it to the motherboard, you use a SATA cable, which stands for Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. Sorry, and then you connect it here. Any of these SATA ports would work fine, and then you connect it to the other cord. Like this. And then after that, you are done and it will be connected. And then lastly, right here is where you would plug in a power supply, and that basically gives electricity to boot up the computer. and that is very important if you ever want to use it. So that's my demonstration for now. We'll just leave it here and finish the rest of my presentation. My backup career is a physician assistant, and you might be wondering why is my backup possibly harder to handle and achieve than my primary, and that's mainly because of my brother. My brother is in UCSD right now, and he's becoming a physician assistant, so therefore it would be a great backup plan because I would follow his route basically, and my parents would be happy, I would be happy because I do I love helping people and has good income. And then I have taken every single science class except AP Chem that is offered here at Vista, so I'm ready for the medical section of this career. And then short-term, long-term roles. It's different. The only thing different was I could possibly venture into UCI instead of UCSD, even though UCSD is still my main option. I would major in human biology, go after internships, and after my bachelor's, I'd go into a post-grad PA program they have called PACE, which is Physician Assistant and Clinical Education. And that would be, if I could apply and make it to that would secure a job for this career. The projected growth is the same as a computer and information systems manager. It is high, and annual jobs are opening, and then the salary median would be around 100,000 as well. In conclusion, my main primary school I want to go to is UCSD, and my main primary career is computer information systems manager. My short-term goals I focus on and I'm completing as the year goes on, and I'm on track to get into college and to follow my career. The backup is if I want to follow the typical Asian pathway and become a doctor, but we don't know if that's going to be likely.